All right, flooring retailers in the flooring industry. We are back with another webinar Wednesday. I am Jeff Bieber, VP of Marketing at Broadloom, and here with me is.
Hi, everyone. I'm Alex Whitner. I am the marketing coordinator here at Broadloom. We're so excited to be here.
All right, so from likes to leads, maximizing your online presence with social media. So today we're really going to focus on the organic side. Obviously, there's a huge opportunity with paid, and we're actually going to talk about that in about a month's time with the next webinar. But we really want to talk about organic media, organic social media, what they are, what the landscape looks like today, give you a bunch of tips and tricks, a bunch of tactics, and a couple of things that are going to help you level up what you do online. But before we get into it, we got to go to some intros. So I'm going to first kick it off to Alex. Alex, tell them about yourself.
Yes, so like I mentioned, I am the marketing coordinator here at Broadloom. I have been with the company for almost 4 years now. I am a born and raised Jersey girl living in Sarasota, Florida. Fun fact, I can play the ukulele. No, I will not do it right now. And I've been to 25 countries. What about you, Jeff?
Well, first off, if we get enough questions, you're going to have to play the ukulele during the Q&A. But yes, I'm Jeffrey Bieber. I'm the VP of Marketing at Broadloom. Born in Maryland, so love me some Old Bay, but I currently live in Brooklyn, New York. Fun fact here, I was the first account manager at Broadloom, so I was dealing with John Weller on a weekly basis. Back then we were called Triad Hawk. A lot has changed, but today we are Broadloom. I've also seen the band Fish 59 times. I know you would never guess that looking at me. And last but not least, yes, my cousin is Justin Bieber, but probably not the Justin Bieber that you're thinking about. I'm sure Alex is sick of hearing that one. It is my common icebreaker, but we're breaking through. So let's talk about social media and a couple of things that you really got to know. So again, why it matters. We know that on the surface, social media, oh man, Blake, Dave Matthews is not cooler. And we're doing this full thing interactive. So you put it up there, we're going to respond to it. So social media, why it matters, because we know sometimes it looks like an afterthought. Sometimes it looks like a hobby or some place that you can spend time, but there is a huge business opportunity for everyone in the flooring industry. And we want to lay out the landscape for you. So Alex, quickly give a couple of reasons why people want to pay attention to social media, especially business owners.
Absolutely. So to start off, 55% of consumers learn about new brands or companies on social media. So that is over half of the population who are present on the internet are looking for new brands or companies each and every day in front of them, multiple hours a day. And 90% of consumers will buy from a brand that they follow on social media. So if you don't have that social media presence, you're losing out to probably your competitor down the street. So definitely want to have that strong social media presence if you don't already.
And that's a really good thing for us to just talk about for a moment. I know a lot of flooring retailers love their traditional media, right? They love having the billboards, they love having the newspapers. But if people aren't going out and about, you're not going to see your brand when they are getting lunch, when they're hanging out, when they're just killing time on the sofa. That is your opportunity to be right in front of them, and not necessarily when they're on the go and distracted, right? Kids in the car, going to soccer practice, picking up groceries, your mind's all other places. So social media, the digital landscape is your place to be. And again, people will buy from you being there. So that's sort of the reason that we're talking about this. But Alex is going to quickly walk you through a super high level perspective. This is what we call a screenshot screen. Definitely one to help reference things in the future. But Alex, can you quickly give people a quick rundown on some of the high level uses on these different social platforms?
Absolutely. So this is an older graphic, but it's truly a tried and true model for having you understand for where you should be putting your content and how you can utilize content on different platforms. So to start, we wanted to quickly highlight exactly how these can help your businesses, starting off with Facebook. Facebook is king of marketing, especially organic, which should be no surprise. But this is the platform that you should be heavily focusing on as a flooring retailer and as a business. And a fun fact for you, Facebook adds over 500,000 new user accounts every single day, which equals 6 new profiles every second. So that is a lot of new people entering that market for you to reach. As we go down, there's YouTube. Again, this is a super helpful and informative platform for people to be looking at how-tos, webinars, explainers, and really video content works really well on there. Moving down to Instagram, this is a great platform to utilize to show your ideas, show the installations that your team is doing each and every day. You can connect with your customers, reply to their comments with something meaningful. Don't just send an emoji, really engage with them. How can you drum up conversation with them to create a lifelong customer, not just a one-time customer in your store? With Twitter, we don't see a lot of success with the flooring industry, so we would recommend focusing your efforts on other platforms, but it's definitely one that we wanted to mention because it is large in the space. And then another king of marketing platform for flooring retailers and truly any business would be LinkedIn. This is where a lot of networking happens and growth for not only people individually, but for businesses on their specific page platforms. Moving down, TikTok is another one that we wanted to focus on here. Snapchat is not necessarily something that we think would fit the business model of a flooring retailer, but we did just want to mention that quickly here. But for TikTok, introduce your team, do installations similar to Instagram, but more video form, if anything. And this is a platform where you could go viral for no reason. So really getting your content on there is an awesome platform. The algorithm, especially on TikTok, is insane. And, even when you're scrolling through, you could see videos and messages from people or brands that you've never seen before, and you just discovered one of your new favorite accounts. So really great platforms here for you to be exploring. Definitely take a screenshot, and you can see some higher level demographics if you take a deeper look here.
All right, so Alex, that was a really good overview. And again, having a really well-constructed digital and just overall business plan is not doing one of these things, it's doing them integrated all at once. But Alex sort of gave you the tips and tricks, or at least a cheat sheet for what to use on each platform. So really helpful as you start to think and plan your own content. And again, knowing where your audience is, who you're trying to get in front of, really helpful overview. So we want to start to drill down a little bit more and just talk about the organic strategy, why you want to utilize it, some things that you can utilize to do it more easily, because again, it seems really hard and easy at the same time. Why is that? So we'll break that down. But overall, there are these things called algorithms behind the computer screens of any social platform, and they are looking for your input. And that is a big, big, big key for mastering organic strategy. Is consistency is key. And we know that sometimes it's really hard to take that first step in running a marathon. You might not get the engagement you want the very first time, but the more and more you post, the more you're going to build that audience, and the more you're going to start to see those metrics go up and up. But you have to stay consistent. You have to get rid of that imposter syndrome, put out the word, let people know what your business is all about. But as we're talking about building up that awareness, Alex?
Brand awareness to build off of consistency. If you're not consistent, your brand is going to fall behind all of the other brands that are present on social media and being consistent. So the first step to actually having these platforms is creating awareness. People need to know who you are in this space. They need to know what your business is, your mission statement, who you are, and what you're selling. So having that brand awareness on top of consistency really is two of the pillars for building great content and a great page on any of the platforms that you begin on.
So again, getting the content out there, getting your name out there, but then also providing updates and highlighting your business, right? I don't just sell flooring. These are the things that I specialize in. These are the different sectors that I work with. And maybe you're closed one day. Maybe you have a new promotion coming up. Maybe you have some big thing that you want to highlight. Maybe you had a celebrity installation. So again, this is your opportunity to think about anything that touches your business that might be relevant to a consumer or shopper and get the word out there. But in terms of getting the word out, there's a big use that you definitely want to leverage in organic social. And Alex, what is that?
promote your sales. If you are running a spring sale, a summer sale, a weekend sale, get it on your social media. Somebody who might not have seen your website, who is also following you on any of these platforms, now knows that you are running some sort of sale in a timely fashion, and they are going to flock to your store, contact you to find out how and when they can leverage that promotion. So if you are not promoting your business from the start, this is something that we definitely want you to utilize. You can make easy and fun graphics on many different platforms, but sales are so important. It's going to be easy closing opportunities for you, especially with new prospective clients that you might have not heard from before, or maybe, they've researched you and now they're coming back, and then you can close them with that.
And then the biggest thing there, right? Because how do you promote a sale, right? How do you get that content up there? What do you think about writing? There's so many tools and technology, and many of them are free that will help remove that question mark. Oh, I don't want to look stupid online. Oh, I don't want to have a misspelling. Oh, I don't want something to look like I just did a Photoshop from 1998. I don't actually know if Photoshop was around 1998. Let's say 2005, and it looks really bulky and bad. So there are 3 tools that we love to utilize, and one to help you with proper grammar. I actually almost thought about misspelling grammar as a little Easter egg to see if anyone noticed it. But proper grammar with Grammarly, again, it's a free plugin for all of that you can have in the on your website or on your browsers, and again, just lets you know how to rewrite something, or it fixes it for you. There's also Design Made Simple with Canva. We love Canva here. I see that Shannon Vogel's on here as well. She's a big fan too. When I say it makes you look like a pro designer with like 1% of the effort, it is mind-blowingly easy. And they do have free versions, right, Alex?
Yes, they have a free version. They also have a paid version, which has a ton of extra added features. But start with the free version. It's really going to help you level up your graphics, especially if you're not somebody who might be, creative to start. This will be your best friend.
And then last but not least, as our Chief Revenue Officer and co-founder Dan Pratt covered a few webinars ago, ChatGPT. Again, people think that this AI world is very complex and difficult to use. Right now, please open up ChatGPT on your web browser and just spend 5 minutes with it afterwards. Say, I run a flooring business and I'm looking for 10 ideas to post on social media. It's going to give you 10. And if you don't like them, you click that regenerate idea button or regenerate content response, and it's just going to give you 10 more. It's just so simple. It's one of those things where, it's too easy not to use. So everyone just take a second, open up that tab, and just check it out afterward, because we promise it's not going to do everything for you, but gets you from that 0 to 90% so friggin' fast. And again, you want to make it personal. You want to do your own thing in terms of really highlighting, some of the things that Ben Hedwood's calling out, right? A lot of his competitors are just doing boring social media uploads. That's not going to do much for you, but it's going to give you those ideas to then have that post as well. So the last one is, Alex, it's not something that you should just be able to tack on as, a afterthought. What is another way for you to best leverage in strategy and utilizing it?
Absolutely. So when you're hiring people, especially the younger generations, have them work on your social media. It's something that people enjoy doing. When I started on the marketing team, it wasn't necessarily, right in front of me, but it was something that I was very excited about. And when Jeff let me have full reign, I was very excited to dive deep into it. So have that as a part of the job responsibilities, especially with new hires. See if that's of interest to them. See if, they have a social media presence and you love the way that they're posting. You can really utilize the creativity of different people already at your company or new hires that you're looking to add to the team and leverage that as those people who could be your social media manager and or just help you dabble, give you ideas. So really open the door for anybody at your company or new people coming in and see if that's of interest and where they can help and want to help, because you will see so many people want to touch social media and might just not have the chance currently. So keep that door open for any new employee or any current employee too.
Yeah, social media can be fun. Just be careful who you're giving it to. And again, with Alex, I'm going to leave that one alone, but she's been crushing it for us. But the big one here is treat it like a job, not an afterthought. So plan your content. You speak to any good influencer or person that is, a native, digital native. They treat it like a job, right? Just like you would work out, just like you would do inventory. They plan. So they pick a day to plan and schedule all their content. So you don't have to do it, as this trickle throughout the week. They will also sometimes pick a day to shoot. I actually know that Ben Henwood does this as well. Then they leverage pillar content. So they do one long form piece of content where they talk about a bunch of different things, and then they cut it down into small short form bits. So it really helps you maximize the efficiency of what you're shooting. And again, you got to treat it like a job. There's so much business opportunity that comes with this. If you treat it like a job, you will see the returns. You'll be extremely happy, I promise you. But as you're building it out, there's a great place to find more people to engage with and also source ideas. Alex, where could those be?
Absolutely. So you want to be leveraging communities, whether that is a local community, online community, any community you can think of, leverage to the best of your ability. So just to start, we have flooring groups. These could be in person or specifically online. One that comes to mind is the flooring retailer Facebook group. So if you already are not a part of that, go ahead and head over to Facebook when you have some time and join. There are thousands of flooring retailers like yourself who are floating around ideas, letting you know about jobs that they're closing, popular products, anything along those lines that's going to help you grow your business, but you can also connect with people in the same space as you. On top of that, focus on community groups such as local organizations. In addition to that, we have, schools, religious and networking groups. So these can really fall anywhere between, for community, the Sarasota Moms, if there's a Facebook page, anything like that. We've got the YMCA, BNI, the Lions Club. But the thing that we want you to mainly focus on is don't go in selling your business or selling, things. You want to go in introducing yourself, connecting and acting as a well-known person in your community, because when it comes time for somebody to buy flooring, they're going to be thinking of you. But again, you don't want to lead with, "Hi, I'm Alex and I sell flooring." You want to go in, if there's a meeting, "Hi, I'm Alex. I own Alex's Flooring. This is what I think about the X, Y, and Z problem that we're facing in the community." And you should be caring about what you're actually bringing to the table in there. But like I said, when somebody is then ready to, replace the LVP in their home, the first person that they are going to call is you, because they trust you, they know your personal brand, and now they know your business.
Spot on. Couldn't say it any better myself. We sort of have this, mantra or concept that we try to follow. If you do it in life, you should also reflect and do it online, right? If I'm going to any of these community groups or dropping off my kids at school or going to a house of worship or things like Alex was saying, BNI or Tri-Tip, do it online. You're just maximizing your resource investment, whether that's time or money, whatever the case. It's going to help. It's going to help grow what you're doing online. So let's get a little bit more specific. Let's get down into some of the nitty gritty. And Samantha, just if you could help us clarify, what was the group's name, referencing which group? Oh, okay, perfect. Taylor's added it in there. Again, we're doing this whole thing live. It's interactive. I know we got Shannon going and Ben going back and forth. It's a full community approach. So social media, why it matters. What does the landscape look like? Because there's a lot of social media right now out in the landscape. So, we're going to talk about the big dogs first, the most popular, the ones that have the most monthly active users on it. And obviously that's going to be the Meta properties with Facebook and with Instagram. And then shortly behind that, we're going to have LinkedIn, Alex covered that, a property of Microsoft, really great for business networking and building out, what you're doing and who you're doing it with, and also highlighting the business growth that you've seen as a flooring retailer. Shortly after that, you have Twitter. Again, we don't think this is the best approach for your flooring business. Personally, you can use it. It's great. A lot of free ideas, and they often talk about the Twitter education you can get for ways to hack and improve your business. And in terms of promoting business, you don't see a ton of local presence there as well. So, and again, that's where we have the Meta properties with Facebook and Instagram. You have Microsoft, and then we just have Elon Musk on Twitter. So moving right past those, we have the younger generation ephemeral platforms. Alex?
Yeah, so we have Snapchat, and Snapchat solely exists around the fact that what you post doesn't live on the internet forever. So I'm sure you have heard many people say what you post on the internet is there for the rest of time. Snapchat does the exact opposite. So when you're posting, whether it's on your story, whether you send it to somebody, once it's opened, it either gets deleted immediately or it lives on the internet for 24 hours. So it's a different change of pace with that platform. Up next, we have TikTok. So TikTok is the social media that has the unique factor of unpredictability of what content you're going to see and what content you're going to get on your For You page, for example. It has an incredible algorithm. There is no one that can quite literally figure it out. So utilizing this platform and really getting video content out there is an incredible way to sort of develop new relationships, new clients, follower growth. And like I mentioned earlier, there is no rhyme or reason sometimes why things go viral. So if you have 0 followers or if you have 1 million followers, the algorithm kind of decides for itself. So do not be afraid to get onto TikTok.
We call it the great equalizer. So moving right along, Alex is going to walk us through some of the platforms on the rise that I guarantee 95% of people on this call do not know about. But again, information is key. And again, only what is also our favorite platform as well, Ben. But Alex, on the rise, first up is?
All right, we've got Be Real. So this is a newer platform that sets you up to share raw and real versions of yourself and your daily life. So if you've not heard of it, the premises of it is at some point during the day, again, you have no idea when, you are going to get a ping from Be Real, so a notification pop up on your phone, and you have, I believe it's a few minutes to get your content up. So the idea is that you cannot plan this content. It is 100% raw. It is not supposed to be aesthetically pleasing. It's what you're doing. So if I got the ping right now, I would take a selfie, and then it also gets the back version of your space. So it would be a selfie of me at my desk, and then you'd see the rest of the office on the other side. So it's a really cool, unique platform, unlike a lot of ones where you really are focused on the polished sides of, an aesthetically pleasing feed, anything like that.
And while we move over to the other one, again, Alex nailed it. In the Instagram world of filters and even in Snapchat with AR technology, Be Real is focusing on removing all that. And as Alex mentioned, it shows you your camera, so the selfie lens, but also the outward-facing one as well. So it really tries to remove any ability for you to mask what you're doing and act in the moment versus pre-planned. And then this is one that I actually never heard of before. So really happy I had Alex on with me for this. Alex, next up.
Yeah. Absolutely. And before we jump into Lemonade, I actually found out that a friend got engaged through Be Real because their notification went off and they decided to post it. You could also react with a little face to yourself. So it was very funny. But next up is Lemonade. If you have not heard of this, this is very new, created by TikTok to compete with the Instagram platform. So the best way to describe Lemonade is if Canva, which is that tool we talked about earlier for photo creation, and Instagram had a baby. It's a very aesthetically pleasing version of Instagram, again, created by TikTok, but it gives you carousel templates, really. So, maybe it gives you a template to share your weekend, but it shows a really fun font at the top that tells you, insert I was at the Sarasota Farmers Market, and under it, you add the date and then a carousel of all the photos of things that you had accomplished that weekend. A lot of creators are blowing up on this and brands because it is new. So it also, what comes with a new platform is a new space to be discovered. So you really have untapped potential, especially getting into an app like Lemonade on the earlier side.
All right. So those are two of the fast movers and growers on the social space. But as we see in Facebook with our different communities, like the flooring retailer group, communities are really key, and these live streaming environments are really blowing up. So the ones that we wanted to quickly highlight is obviously YouTube and YouTube Live. So like we're live right now, very meta of us and not meta in the Facebook and Instagram way. And then we have Twitch. Again, this is definitely a younger skewing thing purchased by Amazon. Watching people stream, watching people do stuff is a massive industry. I know it sounds hard to sometimes wrap your mind around that I would want to watch someone else playing a video game. The Gen Zers love it. And I'm telling you, this is a massive platform, and it's not just limited to Gen Z anymore. So definitely make sure that Twitch is on your radar as well. But then you have some new funky ones. Discord. I would call Discord as like the love child between Slack and I don't know. It's somewhere between Slack and another social media, and it's very gamer focused. It was very big with like the NFT and Web3 world, and people are just looking. Oh, Reddit and Slack. That's what I wanted. So it brings together these two worlds. It's very gamer driven, as we were mentioning, but people want to find platforms that are hyper niche and hyper focused and have either categories, subreddits, or threads, just like we see in the Facebook groups that are specific to their interests. So Discord is a massive one that has been blowing up probably the last 2 or 3 years. It's really gained some prominence. It took me a while to actually understand what it looked like. But this one is a huge one for all of you flooring retailers. Nextdoor. I've seen my parents use it. I've been on it a few times. It is a social media platform and services platform, almost like a mix between it's almost like a Facebook, but at a hyper local level. And it almost has like a little TaskRabbit vibe because there's a lot of business sharing going out there. If you guys don't know Nextdoor, definitely check it out. Huge business opportunity there. Again, this is your local community, and you want to be present anywhere those eyeballs are. Again, it could be responding to things people are looking for, good referrals for flooring. So definitely another place to check out. But this is what the landscape looks like. Yes, Ben, I definitely have seen people advertising on Nextdoor. Justin just said that they get a ton of referrals from Nextdoor. Again, this is the point of the webinar. We want you guys that are not familiar to be aware of these places that you can drive and generate more business. So moving right along, why should you care about these? Right? We can talk and tell you all these things and the amount of content and people on these platforms, but you have to have that business reason, right? Why do I, as a flooring retailer, need to be on here, or why do I not need to be on it? So Alex is going to kick us off with some of the stats that you should know about on the Facebook side.
So 73% of Americans are on Facebook. That is an incredible number when you look at the number of people that just live in the United States. So your next client is probably on Facebook. So you need to take advantage of that and make sure that your brand is recognized, especially to the population around you.
Absolutely. And staying in the meta category land, Instagram, 81% of Instagram users this is their purchase. I know I don't need to pitch you any further on that one, but again, you have to be present where the people with the eyeballs and the dollars are. Showcase those beautiful jobs. Explain why your business and these products will help consumers and shoppers, and you will see that return on investment. Moving right along to the platform that we don't necessarily think is the best, and why, Alex?
So 92% of tweets are made up by 10% of their users. So like Jeff mentioned, while we don't necessarily recommend focusing on this platform, if you have something to say, get it on Twitter, but you need to be consistent with it. You need to be tweeting multiple times a day to your community with a unique perspective to have that community to continue to grow. So again, it's a lot of bandwidth for the outcome of maybe, the return on investment. So we don't necessarily recommend focusing on that one, but a great stat to share with everybody.
Again, it looks like there might be a ton of content in there, constantly refreshing and seeing tweets. It's come from a very small segment versus 3/4 of the country are on Facebook. Just think about where you want to spend your time there. But talking about the country and who's got those dollars, LinkedIn. So compared to any other platform, LinkedIn has the most high income earners on their platform. Over 50% of their users earn more than $75,000. So again, by you providing those business updates, we just won Best of Minnesota, Best of local awards. Hey, we have access to this brand new line of product. This is where you can find those people with the deep pockets to bring into your store, in a much more focused way. Last but certainly not least, we got TikTok. Alex?
78% of businesses achieve a positive ROI on TikTok. And again, focus on that algorithm. It really can show you multiple different things a day for no rhyme or reason. And the average American spends about 2.5 hours on social media a day. But on top of that, Gen Z, who grew up in the digital age, who are primarily on TikTok, if you're looking to target the Gen Zers, head over to TikTok. They're spending upwards of 5 hours on social media a day. So this is definitely a platform that you do not want to pass on, especially if you're trying to promote your business.
And I can promise this is not just the Gen Zers of the world. I have never posted on TikTok, but I've consumed a lot of TikTok content. And again, you need to hit a certain threshold, Alex. I think it's 1,000 followers before you can go live on TikTok. I've watched what you would think is the most, maybe this says more about me. I've watched the most content and interesting hours of watching people tumbling rocks or pouring honey. And, it just sounds so random, but it is so entertaining to watch. And when I think about how you could apply that to your flooring business, maybe having a camera up during a flooring installation, right? Showcasing your team's expert craftsmanship and showing that whole project from start to end. You also see people in convenience stores having signs up with the live stream on TikTok. If you're in a densely populated area, it's a great way to drive people into the store, have a little sign up. And I see Taylor got sucked into the coin pusher videos on TikTok. I've watched people doing lottery tickets. Just check it out. It's so odd, but you can't turn it off. So again, just really good content out there and many different ways for you to leverage it for yourself. Trying to answer some of these questions because I know we're going to have a big Q&A at the end. How many Gen Zers really buy flooring? Is TikTok really getting the old generation? Yes, TikTok is growing massively into the older generation. I know it seems like it's just a younger skewing platform. That was maybe the case 2 years ago. I would almost, trying to align those timelines, COVID was probably a huge uptick for TikTok. And I do actually remember people saying, here we go. Mr. Buckles, he's watching TikTok on Insta 2 weeks later. That's a really good point, Mr. Buckles. A lot of people take some of the content that they see on TikTok, repurpose it on Instagram and put it through Reels. And even if it's not their own content, they are content aggregators. So your content can get out into the ether in so many ways. I want to make sure that we have enough time for plenty of Q&A afterward, because we know this is always a fun topic to talk about. So we want to give you guys a couple cheat sheets based on a bunch of data that's been pulled across 5 major publishers and what we've seen ourselves. So feel pretty confident about this, but test it yourself, see if it works, and let's get into it. So social media cheat sheet, best times to post your content. Again, you can follow these best practices or be a contrarian and do them yourself. So Alex, when is the best time to post on Facebook?
Yeah, so first and foremost, Monday at 1 p.m. So people are eating lunch. They are having their first big break of the workday. They're scrolling Facebook and seeing what is happening, what they missed from the weekend. So do not sleep on those lunchtime posts on Monday, especially.
And I still hear some stomachs growling because guess what? It's also roughly the same time for Instagram, an hour earlier. I can hypothesize why there's that slight difference, but I'm not going to. But it's usually around that lunchtime that you see a lot of social media activity uptick, right? People in the morning, they set their schedules, they get their days rolling, but then as lunchtime comes around, it's time to just unplug for a few, and they go to social media platforms. Alex, what about on Mr. Musk's Twitter? When is the best time to post there?
So opposite of Facebook and Instagram, Friday at lunchtime is the best time to tweet. So again, lunchtime, we're sensing sort of a trend for these three platforms that people are taking a break, seeing what people are getting into on their Friday. Maybe somebody's off. Maybe they have an early, recap of their day. So Friday at noon is the best for tweeting.
And then on the LinkedIn side, we see Monday at 4 p.m. And I think one of the reasons that you see the best engagement, a lot of people think on Sunday, I'm planning out my LinkedIn posts for Monday morning. And then you just get hit with a lot of noise Monday morning with a lot of businesses being on there. And then it slows down probably a little bit around lunchtime because people go to Facebook and Instagram. So right on the back end of that, going into the late afternoon of Monday, we see the best performance on LinkedIn at 4 p.m. Eastern in terms of engagement. And then last but certainly not least, Alex, on TikTok.
So we see on Sunday at 4 p.m. for TikTok. So people are doing their Sunday resets. They are, winding down their weekend to get ready for a busy week ahead and taking some time to scroll on TikTok as a way to decompress or watch somebody tumble rocks for hours. So that is the time that we see for TikTok.
Nothing like avoiding the Sunday scaries with some rock tumbling. Moving right along. So again, when you're planning out your content, when you're trying to think, what should I post about? Start off with the quadrant approach, right? Break up the things that are going to engage and highlight your business as best as possible. I would love to hear Shannon Vogel advices to people first starting off. And obviously, you're going to tweak your mix. It's different. Every business structure is different, and your audience is going to reflect those differences as well. But again, highlighting the amazing products and brands, but also the brand stories behind it. Don't just sell LVP, right? Explain why this, special embossing or the oil finish, as Neil would say, the thermal treated creme brulee touch of some products really helps stand out. So the more that you can highlight the products and showcase some of the best new product innovations, you're going to showcase what you actually sell, but then you're going to showcase some testimonials and reviews, help people understand why you're the best in your local market or in the nation, and showcasing your 5-star reviews or, people that had problems and how you help them solve it. Then there's the educational content. Alex touched on this on the YouTube side, how-to videos. If you're creating how-tos to clean tile, to clean LVP, to clean hardwood, with those products. What? When they're done cleaning them or it's worn down just enough, who do you think they're going to purchase? Even tips and tricks. It doesn't have to be videos. You could use those as polls. Engage. Ask them, what would you use? These 4 things, and just see what your audience is, and then help educate them. And then last one, and our favorite, after a while, as much as we all love flooring, there is somewhat of a sea of sameness that can come with that. Showcase your team. You spend so much time hiring, finding the right people for your culture, for your business. Showcase them, put their faces up, announce new hires, that human and personal connection with the brands, right? No one just wants to see, only wood all day. They really want to see the people that you're working with. And that creates an incredible connection. I come into Alex's flooring store. Oh, you're Alex. I saw you online, right? We see the same thing like that when we go to trade shows or FloorCon. We see these names and we see everyone's little avatar. Post about your people, quotables. What is their favorite, thing about working for you, or their favorite products, or why they love doing what they do. So, okay, sweet. We got the seal of approval from Shannon, so that is awesome there. And again, we want to keep this thing as tight as possible. So when we're talking about social channels to focus on as a flooring retailer, Alex, what is numero uno on the primary focus, high impact, but low level of effort?
Absolutely. So the first one that we want you to focus on, you guessed it, Facebook. You are going to have a significant reach to customers, potential customers, other people in the flooring space, other people in any sort of community that you are a part of or looking to be a part of. They are going to be on Facebook. So definitely make this one of your primary focuses.
And then still one and the same, you could have guessed it, Instagram. And when we talk about high impact, low level of effort, you can literally take out your iPhone, take a picture, and upload it with a line of text. Very low barriers of entry there. Alex, what comes after Instagram?
You guessed it. We have LinkedIn, especially as a brand. This is where a lot of people are, seeking new jobs. If you're hiring, you need to be posting on LinkedIn. If you have a sale, like you mentioned earlier, post on LinkedIn, especially with that higher threshold of household incomes. This is a place to be posting your awesome content in addition to both Facebook and Instagram.
And when you're doing any of this, when we're talking about these high level of efforts versus low ones, create that connection, create that opportunity for your customers and shoppers to follow you. You send them a review, give them the opportunity to like you on Facebook or leave you a review there. When they're in the store, maybe you find this connection that you have with someone, they have a mutual connection with someone else. That creates more selling opportunities. There's very few platforms as good as Facebook and LinkedIn to show you those mutual connections. Really great opportunity to get more visibility by leveraging that organic reach. But there's also some really valuable ones, but it just takes a little bit more effort. And that's that secondary focus that has a huge upside for you as a flooring retailer, but it can be resource intensive. So, Alex, the first one is?
We've got YouTube. So again, those how-to videos, those webinars, such as what we're doing right now, a little bit more resource intensive, a little bit more planning out than, maybe recording a few stories to upload to Instagram, Facebook, but high output and a lot of reach if you're taking the time to do that creation.
And yeah, Alex nailed it spot on. I always like to take a step back and have you evaluate the platform that you're on. How big the screen is on YouTube, and then go over to Facebook and look how small it is, right? But again, you probably need to have a video editor or someone that can help you edit and then upload, right? It's not as simple as there's a couple of different layers of what categories to put in. Is it friendly for children or not? And different keywords that you could be targeting as well. So a little bit more time and intensive resources, but huge upside for you there. Alex, what about TikTok?
Yes, and last but not least, we have TikTok. Again, as we mentioned a couple of times, the algorithm here is your best friend. It is a really fun platform to play around with, test new features, test your editing skills. But again, it takes a little bit more resources. You have that editing time factored into making these videos. There is editing software built right into TikTok, so you don't have to go elsewhere if you want. But there are additional editing tools such as CapCut that you can, add on to make that easier for you. And at the end of the day, with all of the social medias that we talked about, you want it to be fun and engaging for not only you and your brand, but for the people viewing your content on the other end. So have fun with it. It should not be a chore. But again, like Jeff mentioned, you do want to look at it like a job and take it seriously if you want to get that output that you're expecting.
Yeah, there's so much you can do. And that's why we're trying to break it down on focus and crush the Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn side first. And then, if you're a much larger operation, you probably can take on all 5 of these. But right now where you are, I would start with the Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn side, because again, that's going to more align with the flooring shoppers, more dominated by people that fall within the buying categories of, the different attributes of purchasers. And again, not as intensive, right? I could grab my phone, shoot a couple of things, and have it up on Facebook in about 5 minutes or so, if not faster than that. So I know we're almost at 45 minutes. That is some time, but we want to make sure that we have enough time to do a live Q&A. We will stay here as long as possible to answer all your questions or riff with y'all. And I'm starting to look at a couple of these here. And I also did see someone asked a question. Oh, well, here. We got the first one coming up. You mentioned a few tools that make your social content easier. What were they? So the ones that we talked about were ChatGPT, Grammarly, and Canva. But Alex, I know, has a couple extra ones that she loves to utilize that really help make social media easier. Alex, what are those?
Yep. So some to start for just to go off of what Jeff said, Canva does have a paid version, which is an amazing tool. You have a ton of extra features built into the paid version versus the free. Again, if you're just starting to dabble in that content creation, the free version is an awesome platform. But if you're looking for the next step up, definitely check out the paid version. Another great platform is called Later. This is a scheduling tool that allows you to schedule your content out for months. So like we mentioned, if you are doing batch content creating, meaning you are sitting down and planning out a month of content at once, you can literally get that scheduled. So, even at Broadloom, we're not sitting here and posting live every single time we upload something to social. That's scheduled. So definitely utilize that. I believe it's $15 a month, well worth it. And then one bonus one that I did mention, especially for video editing for TikTok, is CapCut. This is a free editing app. It is so much easier. And actually, in my opinion, I prefer it to the TikTok editor, which is within the app itself. So take it off of TikTok and utilize that in addition.
And you also have some built-in functionalities, Alex, I believe, on Instagram that is voice to text. So you can actually be on Instagram, shoot a video or a reel, and it will put the text up there for you. So there's so much technology at your hands. Find the time to invest in it, or find someone that is super, we're not going to talk about age here, but find someone that loves social media that can help show you the ropes there as well. All right, so it looks like we have a question from Diane. Do you suggest a reel over a video? So you're always going to hear me give the answer is always go native. Right. So again, if you think about the way that the X and Y axes are on these platforms, right? On a reel, you have the long screen with the video. So if you're shooting selfie style, if you're walking around your store showcasing it, I would always go with the native format, which would be a reel, right? It's a longer video and a little bit thinner in terms of its width. But you'll also see the landscape version in Instagram as well. And for that, if you're running a ad or a spot or something that might be a little bit more professionally cut, that wasn't shot on a iPhone or an Android, then you probably want to go with that one. So the answer will always be go native, right? Go with the platform that feels like you're doing it live, and you're always going to see better results, because what you're seeing is going to be what your audiences are seeing. And whether it's a large plane or the one that takes up the most room on the camera. All right, next one is Samantha. Do we have any tips for building an initial LinkedIn following? First and foremost, Samantha, just start posting. You have to, and it has to be meaningful content. You can't just go for the kill right away. You need to start to engage with others, comment in posts. Alex and I have this thing that we borrowed from the legendary sort of social and tech mogul Gary Vaynerchuk. He has this concept called his $80 strategy. If you don't know what it is, $80 strategy, Gary Vaynerchuk, save it, make sure you have it. It's you go around and leave your 2 cents on over 90 different things. He'll explain it. I don't want to take up the time, but the more that you can provide meaningful feedback or meaningful comments, and not just great install, right? Things that get really into the nitty gritty with people. Ask them questions. You're going to start to see that traction pick up more and more. And then those things that we were talking about in the beginning, those algorithms, they're going to see that people are liking and engaging or responding to your comments. It's going to give you more and more reach and visibility. Reach being how many people can you get in front of on those comments. If you go on LinkedIn, you'll see, Alex commented on this post, right? It's probably because Alex is posting a lot and she's getting some really good traction, but you have to be consistent. If you're not posting consistently, you're going to slowly get downranked on the back end. So consistency is key there, Samantha. but track it. A lot of people, again, we deal with recency bias and confirmation biases of what we see or what we don't see or what we believe. Every day, look at what your reach is with 1 post, 2 posts, 3 posts. What does that look like dated back to back to back versus doing it once a week? I guarantee you're going to see a huge uptick. It sounds simple. It's easy to do once or twice. It's hard to do consistently. And that's really the key there, making sure that you have meaningful things to talk about. All right, we're going to go to Luna Stores. For Facebook, does it make sense to create a fresh page or try to revamp an old page with negative reviews that hasn't been active for several years? And then they wrote, we worry that our page gets more traction. It may turn off viewers if they see 1-star review. Alex, I want to hear your perspective on this one, and I'll give mine after.
Yeah, so I think you can take it a few different ways. First of all, at the end of the day, you want to have your brand recognition, brand awareness the same across the board. So for example, for Broadloom, we are at Broadloom on LinkedIn, Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, you name it, it's at Broadloom. So a possible negative effect to creating that new Facebook page is, does your username now differ from your brand recognition? If it's going to make it more difficult for people to find you, that could be negative to make a second page. We have also seen in the past, people who might have 2 websites, you're competing with each other. So similar in the social media space, if you have 2 pages for the same business, people might get confused. Hours might be outdated on one versus the other. So it is a lot to keep up with. But with that being said, negative reviews, we understand can, impact when people actually get to your Facebook page. So I would start at the root of it. I know it seems a little weird, but reach out to that client, see how you could help make it better, even if it was in the past. And people can edit their reviews on Facebook. So we have seen this before. You might be able to fix the issue. Maybe there was a misunderstanding, something along those lines. They can change their review. So it really depends on the angle that you want to go out with it. I know that's not a perfect answer, but that's my 2 cents on it.
I think Alex is spot on. And we sort of touched upon it when we were talking about Snapchat. Outside of Snapchat, right, ephemeral environments, everything lives forever on the internet. And there's only so long that you can sort of avoid those. What Alex gave as a piece of advice, I thought was super on point. Comment, right? Respond to those people. Hi, whether it's new ownership or a new team that you have in place. Sorry, this was your experience. Please give me a call as we'd like to make it right. You see, look, at Broadloom, we're not always perfect. And Todd is always responding to people saying, let me hop on a call. Let me see how we can help. No one's perfect here, but the best way to make those 1-star reviews go away, Luna, is to get new reviews. So I assume or hope that you're utilizing review and reputation management. If not, go through your RLM or your CRM and pull your best, satisfied jobs over the last, couple months and reach out to them and say, hey, how are your new floors? Are you happy with it? Would you mind leaving me a review? And I guarantee if I saw a review from 7-8 years ago and then a bunch of really good ones recently, I'm going to see that there's something happened, something changed. So like Ben and Alex said, let's not run from the past. Let's face it head on. Make sure you address them. That's a really big thing for consumers today. And fill up the bucket with a bunch of positive reviews. That always helps. Okay, keeping things right along. Lisa Price. Should LinkedIn post be professional or include personal? Interesting. I don't think there's a very clear-cut answer for that because there's tons of shades there. Alex, take this one first, and I'll follow up to it.
So I don't think there's a right or a wrong answer here. I think it can be a mix of both. So again, professional, showing your business, showing the actual pictures of your showroom, showing your team, but then the personal touch is sharing videos of your team doing fun activities. I know Ben comes to mind. They do ugly sweater competitions around the holidays, showcasing their team on social. So it is both personal and professional. And I think at the end of the day, there is nothing better than walking into a small business
You're there, Alex.
Sorry about that. There's nothing better than walking into a small business and recognizing an owner. So on top of that, like if I own Alex's flooring, I would like to be recognized when, you come into the store. So make it about both. I really think that you can have a balance of both ends on your platform.
Yeah, I think Alex again knocked out of the park. I wouldn't take pictures of my meals and put them on LinkedIn, but put pictures of the team or major life events. People often will post newborns or they got married. Those are things. I'd say post COVID, the separating the personal and work life sort of went away. Everything is sort of just now combined because we were all forced to be relatively digital, except for obviously the flooring industry, and that was a great period of time just from a business perspective. But people want, I forget who said it in the chat, but like people want to buy from people. I think it was Shannon Vogel. One of your advantages over the big boxes is, they're stale and boring and they don't have a personality. But, again, we're not going to keep shouting out Ben because he's got enough playtime for this webinar. But go over to Ben Henwood, his page, and look at the content that him and the team put together. I would say very little of it is very specific to the flooring that they sell. Flooring is sort of laden in that content and sort of surrounding it, but he's really creating a personality for his team and his store. Mountain Dew competitions, this Matt Rife thing that I had to look up, and couldn't be a bigger celebrity right now. And Ben is leaning into those social moments to help him and his team stand out. Only would, but again, take it with grains of salt with that. Debbie's question, frequency of posting. When is enough enough? Will frequency cost viewers? Quite the opposite, Debbie. I know that sounds crazy. The organic reach that you have on Facebook is very low. If you're able to pull that, you would see it's a fraction of what you think. And the reason that is these platforms want you posting more and more so that you're seeing different people, people seeing things at different times. We mentioned it earlier in the talk that we all have imposter syndrome, that we don't want to be posting. We feel like, oh, who wants to hear from me all the time? You're not seeing all the content that these businesses are putting out. And the more that you're able to post and the more unique your message and creative is with each post, and that's sort of why we wanted to give that 4-quadrant approach of different content to put up, you're going to see that, people have different motivations and reasons that they want to do business with you. And, if people aren't interested in your business, aren't interested in seeing your content, then they might unfollow you. But, I would say it's always best to keep posting. If you, again, go to Gary Vaynerchuk and listen to what he's saying, he says you need to post like 8 to 12 times a day, different pieces of short form content. Because again, you only get a fraction of the people on the platform, right? If you post in the morning, I might see in the afternoon, the next day that I might see someone else's content. So again, engage, post. It sounds pretty straightforward. It can be if you commit to it. All right. I know we're coming up on an hour, but I want to keep answering these questions while you guys have it. This is the beauty of the live Q&A. All right. Let's see. What else do we have here? Man, there's a lot of questions.
Jeff, while you look for that question really quick, Debbie, I did just also want to mention that not every post that you post, especially on organic, is going to land, and that's okay. So there are going to be posts that might get no likes or might get 1 like, 1 comment, and that's 100% fine. That's the beauty of testing it and see if it works for your business and your audience. So don't get discouraged if you took time to create a post, no one saw it, or you didn't get any engagement. It happens with us too on our end. It's always disappointing, but you can't get discouraged. You have to keep that consistency up.
Absolutely. All right. So the next one we found is from Mr. Bob Wayne. Any tips for multiple location store setup, Bob? I hope you're still there because I got a question for you. Is Facebook the best option? So are you talking about in terms of organic or paid? Because those strategies should be different. I have a bunch of questions. Do you have multiple locations listed at the top of your website, or is it all, 4 or 5 different websites? So some of those things matter, but from an organic strategy, it should be one cohesive brand, right? I'm trying to think of a national, I think Brian Elias said this at FloorCon. His favorite restaurant is McDonald's because no matter where you are, it's going to be the same burger, the same service, and roughly the same price. And if you're thinking about what your brand and what your brand should be communicating, it should be your values, what you believe in, your service, the types of people you hire. Can you regionalize it? Absolutely, right? Are you, going to post about the local team sport in one town versus the other? Yeah, that's great. That's a great way to build some community there. But your overall perspective and strategy should be very much in line with what your store stands for, right? And that sort of ethos and vibe that you give as a store. We still got the questions coming. Alex and I are not leaving. We're not leaving. And Wolf of Wall Street little quote has a bad one. Okay, Samantha Easton. Let's get this up on the board. Our policy is to briefly respond directly in chat and also privately respond as well as situation. More of a comment than a question. Here's another tip and trick, and I'm going to keep pushing it because it can help flooring retailers, and it just saves that brain space. Take a review, put it into ChatGPT, say, please respond to this as a store owner that wants to, hear the person, be receptive to the feedback, but also wants to try to fix the issue. It's going to give you some great options. I know we're going to keep taking you back there. This tool is incredible. And we really want you guys to start to leverage it and save yourself some of the time, because I know that I've had to spend some time on reviews or how I want to respond to an email. Just copy and paste it. Tell them who you are, how you want it to function. Again, Dan had a great webinar that helps you master your prompts. It's going to save you so much time. Tanya, this is great. What about reposting or sharing from other dealers and manufacturers? This is a great one, Tanya. Alex, given that you are the master of installation photo collection in Flooring Stores United, I'm going to kick this one over to you.
Yeah. So reposting or sharing from other retailers and manufacturers is your best friend. This is sort of the mentality of work smarter, not harder. So if somebody has an incredible installation that they did, if it's another flooring retailer, you might want to ask for permission if you are sharing that. That is always an added plus just to make sure that they're okay with it. 9 out of 10 times, they're not going to say no because you are also showcasing their business. So having that in your database, sharing it, saying, hey, X, Y, and Z did amazing work. Check out this awesome product. We'd love for you to come in and see it is always an added bonus. And on top of that, sharing content that you see across any of the platforms also onto your page. So I am almost positive that every social media has some sort of reposting function, whether that is adding it to, Instagram's story or reposting it on TikTok, anything like that. If it's in a great, a remodel, a beautiful before and after, utilize it, showcase it, because, somebody's going to reach out to you and say, hey, can you do this for me? And the answer should be absolutely. When can you come in? We'd love to chat. So work smarter, not harder, but especially if you're using it from other small businesses, sometimes asking for that permission is definitely an added plus just to make sure you don't have to delete it later on, especially if it's doing great. So.
Yeah. And again, digital retailing that John Weller was talking about, a lot of the benefits that flooring retailers get is an extension of the partnerships that we have with brands like J.J. Haynes, Maslin, Fabrica, True Home, DH Floors, Hallmark Compass, and many, many more, with a couple of big ones to be announced. We're actually leveraging that content and putting it on your website for you. So you always want to leverage the manufacturer partnerships that you have invested in, right? Stop thinking you're just buying product from these manufacturers. You're buying their marketing assets, you're buying their credibility, and you're buying a lot of time back for yourself if you're able to take those assets. So ping your manufacturers, ask them if they have content that you can utilize. You unlock a lot of that for free if you're a Broadloom customer in our digital retailing program with the brands we just mentioned, with, again, many more to come, but I'm not saying a sales pitch. But again, it's a reason that we have that included as part of those free partnerships. It's because that content is super helpful. Customers want to see it, and it's going to help you in a number of ways, including SEO. So you get more free traffic to your website. Oh, I was about to stop, and we got one more question. Okay, no, that's just Taylor responding. All right, we are coming up on an hour. I'll make a last call for any final questions. If not, Alex and I will shut it down. All right. On that note, thank you so much for joining us today. Again, social media can be your best friend, from leads to likes, just following some of the things that we covered in this. You can go back. This is going to be reposted to our YouTube channel. When to post, what type of content to put up. The Facebook group, I see someone asked, the flooring retailers group. Again, if you go to the Broadloom page, we post from it a good amount. But it is for retailers. So please, we want to see your questions, your problems, your obstacles. We're all here to help as one large community. I'm Jeff Bieber here with
Alex Whitner.
And thank you for joining us today. And we will see you in 2 weeks. But next week, we are in Indianapolis, Indiana for Jason Goldberg's 48-hour boot camp. We're so excited to see you guys there. A couple of special guests, some speed networking activities, tours of his facility, awesome meals and time spent together, as well as classic open bar happy hour. We'll see y'all in Indianapolis. For those who are joining us, we added a few seats. We sold it out. The hotel got us a few rooms left. So we left the links up. If you go to our website, you'll see that. If not, we see you guys in 2 weeks for another webinar, and have a wonderful Wednesday, y'all.